Have you ever stopped to think about the true essence of spiritual protection? Imagine an invisible shield, something that can completely change the course of your life. Many people believe they're safe, but do we really understand what protects us? The truth is that behind every prayer, every act of faith, there is a profound mystery. When we face difficulties, the first reaction is to seek help. But are we connecting with the right source? What if I told you that there are hidden truths that can transform your perception of spiritual protection? Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to be at peace while others live in constant battle? The answer may lie in something you've never considered. What would you do if you knew that a simple gesture could unlock a powerful force in your life? Stay with me, because in a moment, we will explore together these secrets that could change your life. With every minute, a new revelation. Get ready to open your mind and heart, because what comes next could be the key to the protection you have always sought. Definition of spiritual protection. When I talk about spiritual protection, I always find myself pondering what it really means. To me, it's like an invisible shield that guards us from negative energies and unwanted influences. It's not just a physical barrier, but a state of being that involves body, mind, and spirit. Each belief and spiritual tradition has its own interpretation of what this protection is, but deep down, it reflects the universal quest for safety and balance in a world that is often chaotic. In practice, spiritual protection can manifest in various ways. Some people turn to prayers, others to specific rituals or even meditation practices. What's important is that these actions are not just symbolic. They serve as a reminder that we are in tune with something greater, something that guides and protects us. When I protect myself spiritually, I feel that I am strengthening my connection with the universe, creating a safe space where I can develop and grow. Moreover, spiritual protection is not exclusive to any single religion or belief. I know people who, regardless of their tradition, use similar practices to protect themselves. Whether through amulets, prayers, or mantras, the central idea is the same: seeking a state of peace and harmony. This diversity fascinates me because it shows that despite our differences, we are all in search of something that makes us feel secure amid life's uncertainties. Often, spiritual protection is confused with superstitions or unfounded ritualistic practices. However, it is essential to understand that each act of protection carries a profound meaning for those who practice it. It's a way to express our intentions and beliefs, and that can be incredibly powerful. When I connect with this practice, I feel aligned with my purpose, and that, in a way, I'm honoring the traditions that came before me. Finally, when talking about spiritual protection, it's vital to mention that this is not a magic solution to all problems. It does not mean that by protecting ourselves, we will be exempt from difficulties or challenges. Life is full of ups and downs, and spiritual protection is a tool that helps us navigate these experiences more consciously and balanced. Common myths. One of the most common myths I encounter when discussing spiritual protections is the idea that it is only for those going through extreme situations. Often, people believe that one must be in crisis to seek spiritual protection. This view can actually be quite limiting. To me, spiritual protection is something we should all consider, regardless of the circumstances we are facing. It's not just an emergency resource, but a preventive practice we can adopt in our daily lives. Another myth I like to debunk is the belief that spiritual protection is only for religious or spiritual people. This idea can alienate many who, although they do not identify with a specific religion, feel the need to care for their spiritual well-being. The truth is that anyone can benefit from spiritual protection practices. The connection with the energy around us and the intention to be in harmony is something we can all explore, regardless of our spiritual background. Many also think that spiritual protection means being in a constant state of alert or fear, as if we must protect ourselves from something evil all the time. This view is quite distorted. When I protect myself spiritually, I am not acting out of fear, but rather with the intention of creating a safe and positive space for myself. Spiritual protection should be a practice that brings relief and tranquility, not a source of anxiety. Another point that often arises is the idea that spiritual protection is an individual and isolated practice. In fact, we often find strength in community and interactions with others. When I share my experience with friends or family, I realize that together we can create an environment of protection and mutual support. Collective energy can be a powerful ally, and this is something that is often overlooked in discussions about spiritual protection. Finally, it's important to mention that spiritual protection is not a static practice. Many people believe that once they establish a method or ritual, it must be maintained forever. However, our needs and energies change over time, and the same should happen with our protection practices. Adapting our approaches and being open to new experiences is essential for us to continue protecting ourselves effectively. Traditional practices. When I think of traditional spiritual protection practices, I can't help but remember the rich cultures that surround them. Many of them have rituals that have been passed down from generation to generation, each with its own meaning and purpose. For example, in various indigenous cultures, there are specific ceremonies aimed at protecting the community and individuals from negative influence. These practices are deeply rooted in the connection to nature and spirit, and for me, they symbolize the ancestral wisdom that we must respect and learn from. Additionally, amulets are a fascinating form of spiritual protection found in various cultures. Each amulet carries with it a story and symbolism that can be very powerful. When I wear an amulet, I feel that I'm not only protecting myself, but also carrying with me a part of the history and culture it represents. It's as if, by using these tools, I am connecting to something greater and deeper. Prayers, on the other hand, are a universal practice that transcends boundaries and traditions. Regardless of how they are formulated, they act as a channel of communication with the divine. For me, praying is a way to reaffirm my intention to be protected and in harmony. It is a moment of surrender, where I place my concerns and desires in the hands of something greater. This practice also provides me with a sense of peace and tranquility that is hard to find elsewhere. Protection rituals, such as those performed during seasonal changes or moments of transition in life, also play an important role. These practices not only help us protect ourselves, but also connect us with the natural cycles of life. By participating in a ritual, I feel that I'm part of something greater, a cosmic dance that unites us all in search of balance and harmony. Lastly, it is essential to recognize that traditional spiritual protection practices are not just a matter of faith, but also of conscious intention. By engaging in a ritual or using an amulet, I am affirming my willingness to protect myself and care for my spiritual well-being. This intention is what truly empowers the practices, transforming them into effective tools for protection. Energy and vibrations. When I start to reflect on the relationship between energy and spiritual protection, I realize that everything in the universe is interconnected. The energy that emanates from us and around us influences not only our emotional state, but also our ability to protect ourselves. I believe that by raising our vibrations, we can create a stronger field of protection. It's as if, by vibrating at a higher frequency, we repel the negative energies that may affect us. One fascinating aspect of this relationship is how emotions can impact our personal energy. In moments of stress or anxiety, our vibration tends to lower, making us more susceptible to external influences. On the other hand, when we are in a state of peace and joy, our energy strengthens. For me, this means that taking care of emotional and mental health is an essential part of spiritual protection. Practices like meditation and self-care are therefore not only beneficial, but necessary. The connection between vibrations and spiritual protection also extends to the environment we live in. I believe that the spaces we inhabit can retain energies, both good and bad. That's why it is important to create an environment that reflects peace and harmony. By cleansing and energizing my space, I feel that I'm not only protecting my home, but also raising my own vibration. This allows me to be more attuned to the positive energies I attract. Moreover, the practice of visualizing spiritual protection can be a powerful tool. When I imagine a protective light around me, it is not just a metaphor. It is a way to elevate my vibration and create a safe space. This visualization becomes an affirmation that I'm in control of my energy, and thus I can protect my spiritual being. It is a simple exercise, but it has a profound impact on my state of mind. Lastly, it is important to remember that spiritual protection is not something you do just once. It is an ongoing process that requires attention and intention. Over time, I have learned that I need to be mindful of my vibrations and make adjustments whenever necessary. This awareness of my energy and how it relates to spiritual protection is a fundamental aspect of my personal and spiritual growth. Intention and connection. When we talk about spiritual protection, conscious intention is undoubtedly one of the most important aspects. It's as if we are sending a clear signal to the universe about what we want and need. Intention is not just a fleeting thought, it is a powerful force that shapes our reality. When we set a clear intention, we connect to a higher energy, which strengthens our ability to protect ourselves from negative influences. It is a bit like preparing the ground before planting a seed. Without proper preparation, even the best seed may not sprout. Moreover, conscious intention opens doors to a deeper connection with the divine. This connection can take many forms, depending on each person's beliefs. For some, it may be a stronger connection with God. For others, it may be a bond with spiritual guides or even with the energy of the universe. The important thing is that when we establish this connection, we become more sensitive to the messages and signs we receive, allowing us to navigate our spiritual path with greater confidence. It is this sensitivity that helps us realize when we need protection and how we can seek it. An interesting aspect of intention is that it doesn't need to be complex or elaborate. Sometimes, a simple desire coming from the heart is enough. Or, I want to protect myself, can be sufficient to activate that protective energy. Often, people underestimate the power of their intentions, thinking they need elaborate rituals or complex practices. However, the truth is that simplicity can be key. When we are authentic in our intention, the energy we emit is powerful and attractive. Setting an intention is also an invitation to reflection. Ask yourself, what truly concerns me? What am I seeking to protect? The process of self-analysis is crucial as it helps us identify areas in our lives that may be vulnerable to negative energies. This allows us to focus our intention more effectively, creating a spiritual shield that is truly suited to our needs. As we become more aware of our vulnerabilities, our intention becomes clearer and therefore more potent. Finally, the practice of regularly reinforcing this intention can be extremely beneficial. This can include daily meditations, mantras, or any activity that makes you feel connected to your intention. By making this a regular practice, you solidify that connection with the divine and strengthen your spiritual protection. Over time, you may even notice that your ability to perceive signs and energies around you becomes sharper, which can be a true gift on your spiritual journey. Negative influences. Identifying negative influences in our lives is a crucial step in spiritual protection. We live in a world full of energies and vibrations that can, in many cases, be detrimental to our spiritual and emotional well-being. One of the main sources of negative influence is the energy of the people around us. Sometimes we interact with individuals who, even without intention, emit vibrations that drain us or bring us down. This can be especially challenging, as we often have emotional ties to these people, making separation or protection more complex. In addition to people, there are environments that can also exert a negative influence. Places that carry a dense emotional charge, such as hospitals, prisons, or even certain neighborhoods, can be sources of heavy energy. When we come into contact with these environments, we may feel tired, anxious, or even depressed. It is essential to be aware of how places affect us and learn to create energetic barriers that protect us. This may include, for example, visualizing a protective light when entering a space that we consider challenging. Another source of negative influences may be the negativity we consume through social media, news, and other information channels. An overdose of negative information can leave us overwhelmed and discouraged, affecting our energy and vibration. This leads us into a vicious cycle where the more we consume this type of content, the more vulnerable we become. Therefore, it is essential to establish healthy boundaries regarding what we allow into our lives. Disconnecting from sources of negative energy can be an act of self-love and spiritual protection. Spiritual influences should also not be ignored. Often, we may feel affected by energies or entities that are not visible but surround us. These influences can stem from past experiences, unresolved traumas, or even inadequate spiritual practices. It is crucial to pay attention to these factors and seek ways to cleanse and protect our energy field, whether through purification rituals such as herbal baths or smudging, or with the help of professionals who understand the subject. Finally, it is important to remember that recognizing negative influences should not be a cause for panic or despair. In fact, awareness is the first step toward transformation. By identifying these sources, we can develop strategies and practices that help us neutralize them. This may include meditation, protective visualization, or engaging in activities that elevate our vibration, such as connecting with nature or participating in sports. The important thing is to act with courage and determination, knowing that we are capable of protecting ourselves and creating a healthy environment for our spiritual growth. Signs of need for protection. Recognizing the signs that spiritual protection is needed in our lives is a skill that can be developed over time. Often, these signs manifest in subtle ways, but if we are attentive, we can identify them and take action before the situation worsens. One of the first signs is a constant feeling of fatigue or exhaustion. This refers not only to physical tiredness, but also to emotional and spiritual fatigue that seems to have no explanation. If you feel drained even after a good night's sleep or a day of rest, it may indicate that there are negative influences around you. Another important sign is inexplicable mood changes. If you notice that you are more irritable, anxious, or sad than usual, it may be a sign that you need protection. Our emotions are direct reflections of our energetic state, and when there is disharmony, it is essential to investigate the cause. Often, these mood changes may be linked to external energies that are interfering with our balance. Paying attention to these changes is an important step in understanding the need for spiritual protection. Additionally, disturbing dreams or frequent nightmares can be a clear sign that there is something in your life that needs attention. Dreams are a way for the subconscious to communicate with us, and if you are experiencing distressing dream situations, it may reflect the presence of negative energies. This is a clear signal that you may need stronger spiritual protection. Practicing protection techniques before sleeping, such as visualizations or mantras, can help create a safe space for your rest. Changes in your relationships may also indicate the need for protection. If you notice that you are distancing yourself from friends or family, or if unnecessary conflicts are arising, it may indicate that the energy around you is unbalanced. Relationships are a fundamental part of our lives, and when they begin to drain or cause us pain, it is time to evaluate the environment we are in. This reflection can help us identify the need for protection and establish healthy boundaries. Finally, intuition plays a crucial role in identifying signs of the need for protection. Often, we have a feeling that something is not right, even if we cannot explain exactly why. Listening to this intuition is essential. If you feel you need protection, it's important to take action, whether through meditation, rituals, or practices that resonate with you. Intuition is a powerful compass that guides us on our spiritual journey, and trusting it can be the key to maintaining our energy field healthy and protected. Spiritual protection tools. When we talk about spiritual protection, it is essential to consider the tools that can help us strengthen our energy field. Many people have heard of crystals, but few truly understand how they work. Each crystal has a unique vibration that can interact with our energy. For example, rose quartz is known for its ability to promote love and inner peace, while obsidian is often used for protection against negative energies. Choosing the right crystal can be a transformative experience, and when used with intention, it can amplify our spiritual protection. In addition to crystals, specific meditations are also powerful. They help us calm our minds and connect with our inner selves. During meditation, we can visualize a protective light surrounding our bodies, creating a barrier against external influences. This practice not only calms us, but also allows us to manifest the protection we desire. Incorporating regular meditation into your routine can be an effective way to strengthen your energy and increase your spiritual resilience. Another valuable tool is visualization. This technique involves imagining a desired situation or state in your mind. For example, you can visualize a shield around you, creating an invisible protection that repels negative energies. Visualization is a powerful practice that can be combined with deep breathing to enhance its effectiveness. When we have clarity about what we want to protect and how we feel safe, we can manifest that into reality. Prayers also play a significant role in spiritual protection tools. Regardless of your religion or belief, invoking a higher power can bring a sense of security and support. Prayers can be customized according to your needs and intentions. The practice of reciting protection prayers, such as the prayer of Saint Michael, can create a sacred space around you, promoting an environment of peace and protection. Finally, the use of herbs and incense is another way to create spiritual protection. Herbs like sage and rosemary are often used to cleanse negative energies and protect the space. Lighting incense during moments of meditation or prayer can help establish an atmosphere of protection and focus. These practices, when combined, form a powerful arsenal of protection tools that can be tailored to each individual. The role of spiritual guides. Spiritual guides are entities that accompany us on our journey, offering protection and guidance. Each of us has at least one spiritual guide, whether it be an ancestor, a nature spirit, or a religious figure. They are always present, even if we do not perceive them. The connection with these guides can be an immense source of strength and protection, especially in times of uncertainty. For many, recognizing and communicating with these beings are essential steps in their spiritual development. One way to connect with your guides is through meditation. During these moments of introspection, we can open our hearts and minds to receive messages and guidance. Often, guides manifest as intuitions or feelings. It is important to pay attention to these subtle directions, as they can guide us in times of need. Additionally, keeping a spiritual journal where you record your experiences can help identify patterns and messages over time. Spiritual guides can also be invoked in times of need. If you are facing difficulties or challenges, you can ask for help directly. This practice of invocation can be done through prayers or simply by speaking to them in your mind. Belief in their presence and recognition of their role in your life are fundamental to strengthening this connection. Trusting your guides can create a feeling of security and protection that is invaluable. Moreover, spiritual guides can protect us from unwanted external influences. When we are attuned to them, we can feel a change in our energy, as if we are surrounded by a protective bubble. This feeling of safety can help us face challenging situations with more courage and confidence. It's like having an invisible shield that allows us to navigate life more lightly. Finally, the relationship with spiritual guides is a two-way street. As we learn to trust them and follow their guidance, we are also called to offer gratitude and recognition. This can be done through simple rituals such as lighting a candle or offering flowers in thanks. This exchange strengthens our connection and amplifies the protection we receive, creating a constant cycle of support. Personal and spiritual development. Personal and spiritual development is intrinsically linked to spiritual protection. As we evolve on our journey, our awareness and self-knowledge increase, which in turn strengthens our ability to protect ourselves energetically. When we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, we can more easily identify the energies surrounding us. This clarity is essential for establishing healthy boundaries and protecting our sacred space. Self-knowledge is one of the pillars of this development. When we dedicate ourselves to understanding our motivations and fears, we can better manage external influences that may affect our energy. Practices such as reflection, therapy, and meditation help us access deeper layers of our psyche. Over time, this understanding translates into a greater ability to recognize when we need protection and which tools to use. The evolution of consciousness also implies an openness to new experiences and learnings. As we expand our horizons and expose ourselves to different spiritual practices, we may discover new forms of protection that resonate more with our essence. This flexibility allows us to adapt our protective practices, making them more effective and aligned with our current state. Spiritual development is, therefore, a dynamic process that teaches us to be proactive regarding our protection. Furthermore, personal growth is related to our ability to deal with challenges. When we face difficulties, we have the opportunity to learn and evolve. This resilience translates into more robust protection as we become less susceptible to negative influences. Confidence in ourselves and in our spiritual journey creates an inner fortress that keeps us safe, regardless of external circumstances. Finally, personal and spiritual development is an invitation to responsibility. As we become more aware of our energy and how it affects our surroundings, we take an active role in creating a safe space for ourselves and others. This responsibility is a crucial aspect of spiritual protection, as it teaches us to care not only for ourselves, but also for the energies we share with the world. This practice of energetic self-care is reflected in our daily lives, promoting a more harmonious and protected environment. So, my friend, have you ever stopped to think about the spiritual protection that surrounds us? Often, we are so immersed in our routines that we forget to look at what truly matters. Besides, serious studies, och märkständes kindiennes tandbones tennis